What's up, boys and girls, sirs and zers? How are you guys doing tonight? I need to stop drinking so much coffee. Guys, last night I slept at like 11:30, and that was early for me. Earlier than usual, at least, right? And I actually got pretty good sleep, but I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning because I just could not breathe for some reason. I had like snot. I had like snot icicles in my nose. It could have been the fact that my AC was turned on 68 degrees. But anyway, so I got up and I unplugged the snot icicles from my nose, and I turned my AC back up from 68 to like a normal temperature, 73, whatever. And then I started making breakfast at like 4 o'clock in the morning because I just didn't know what to do. I started making breakfast and started answering emails and stuff. So I'm sure all the people that saw my emails at like 4:48 in the morning were probably like, what the fuck is this dude doing? Anyway, I ate like a huge heap in breakfast. I ate I had like Mama's Kitchen Cafe type of breakfast, right? I had like some big old pancakes and some eggs with a boatload of mozzarella cheese, the only cheese that I had in my refrigerator. And then I got tired again, I guess, because I went back and laid into bed, and at this point it was like 6 o'clock. And then my phone I've been keeping on. If you guys have the new iOS update, you know, like the little moon. This isn't probably not. You probably can't see that. Is that going to focus? You basically put it on like this overpowered do not disturb mode, right? And like you don't hear anything. So if you want to be left alone, just pop that on. My alarm didn't even wake me up. And next thing you know, it was like 11:30, and I woke up. I was like, "What the hell?" Like I woke up in like a puddle of sweat. I slept very good, but you know, you guys always know if you like oversleep, you end up being more tired. Well, it was that kind of situation. So I'm on like coffee number 6 today. Actually, I lost count. But let us get into it. Wade Emery, what is up, dude? Sam, boom, indeed to you too. So the title of this stream was supposed to be something different, but it's the best way, and in all seriousness, the best way to make money, to make nerd money, without being a nerd. And I think it's fitting because I have a couple stories to tell you guys tonight. All right, the first story it'll be quick. The second story is gonna be a little longer, but a little fitting for me because like 90% of the people that I interact with, and what I'm about to say, this was more so prevalent to like maybe 2 or 3 or even 4 years ago when I was still a competitive bodybuilder. More prevalent back then than it is now. But I mean, I'm still a little busty, right? I'm busting out of this shirt right now, guys. I need to get a bra. But in all seriousness, though, back when I was competitively bodybuilding, people would ask me what my job was, and they would like answer before I could answer, like, "You're a personal trainer, aren't you?" I'd just be like, "No, I'm a software engineer." And they would always get thrown off, like, "What the fuck? This dude's a software engineer? Isn't that supposed to be for nerds?" And you guys want to see, let me give you guys a glimpse into the past. If I might please you all, please myself. I used to be jacked and juicy, guys, believe it or not. Look at that, fellas. Look at those titties. Look at those titties. All right, so I used to look like this, all right? And I used to basically be like, I guess, your average software engineer. Not like there's anything average about being a software engineer, because there most certainly isn't. It's usually paired with people who are of a certain type. We can talk about that too. But the funny thing is, nobody ever assumed that, right? In fact, when I would tell people that, they'd be like, "Are you kidding? Are you joking? YouTube's going to block my stream? God, I hope not. No man boobies on the channel. Please, no." I woke up at 6 p.m. after a nap. What was the 6 p.m. your nap, or was that what? So you woke up at 6 p.m. after a nap. So did you wake up at 6 p.m. and 6 p.m. was your morning and then you napped after? I'm confused there, bud. Please clarify. Where is Jeffrey on the stream? We need to bring Jeffrey on the stream, dude. Your average yoked software engineer. Yes, indeed. Yeah. And like, dude, guys, even to this day, it's funny because like my childhood best friend, his little sister, she lives here in Miami and she actually works in the beach at a very nice hotel. And I've known this girl like almost my whole life. I watched her growing up. And I went to go to her place the other day at work to check it out because they just renovated this hotel. And by the way, it's a fucking beautiful hotel. It's like one of the very few beautiful, not tainted hotels in South Beach. If anyone ever wants to go, I think it's the La Espa. I don't know. It's Kate. If you're watching, sorry. I don't remember the name, but it's on Espanola Way, guys. If anyone needs to know, it's a hotel on Espanola Way. If you're not your average street urchin, definitely, and you're coming to visit Miami and you just have to want to stay in the beach, go to that place. It's nice. But anyway, even she was like, when she moved here, she's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing here? Did you are you working blah blah blah?" And I was like, "No, I'm self-employed now." And she was like, "Oh, are you a personal trainer now?" And I was like, No, Kate, sorry. I'm not a personal trainer. But that's what you would assume, right? That's what you would assume. And just goes to show you guys, and I'm not here to fluff myself up or anything, but I mean, I've had a very successful career in both the traditional world when I was a software engineer and currently as a tech chief, quite literally, and a multi-business owner. But sometimes I still code too, right? Sometimes I still got to code. In fact, frequently I still have to code. And can't forget about DD. So developer direction, I have to teach people to code, which requires me to code in front of them, right? So I still code, right? And it just goes to show that I'm here, I'm living proof, and I'm not the only person like this, right? And there's lots of dudes, Sam Perchinsky, for example. Sam, you don't look like the average software engineer or what people would assume would be the average software engineer, right? So the point is of that story, my friends, and we'll get into the other story in a second, is that this isn't 1990 anymore, and not everyone who is a software engineer is a nerd. People who are interested in that field, and there's a lot of people interested in this field, right? More and more so now than ever before because of some other reasons we're going to talk about tonight. But people are getting more and more interested in that field, and they're like, well, I just can't do that because that's just not me. Don't you have to be some kind of like estranged nerd in order to do that? And the answer is no, guys. The answer is no. So let's get into the story that I'm going to tell you guys. And some of you guys in here might already know this story, but I'm going to tell it to you guys anyway. But real quick, let me go grab my water, guys, because I'm only drinking coffee and I'm quite parched. Guys, I'm quite parched. I'll be right back.
What's up, guys? I'm Josh, or as you probably know me, eLift Program, and I'm here to talk to you about developer direction. What is developer direction, you might ask? We are the ultimate IT network and training academy. Ever heard of Fight Club? Yeah, it's kind of like that, but with more computing power. We teach and give courses just like boot camps, but that's not all. We help people actually get jobs, unlike colleges, and we help people get better jobs with better pay and a better life. Here at DD, you don't get grades because your performance is reflected upon by how good you're doing in the real world. You won't accumulate hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt because we offer a one-time yearly fee that's a fraction of that price. And you won't be wasting your time learning about the latest and greatest social trends because you'll be too busy learning about the latest and greatest trends in the tech and IT market. From courses to networking to problem solving to teaming up together on projects, giving and receiving mentorship, we've got it all. So whether you're a beginner who knows nothing about code or tech, a college student, or a 50-year vet, we got you covered. So head on over to developerdirection.com, sign up for the mail list if you want to keep up with our latest and greatest.
I didn't rug. I'm back. I'm back, guys. Man, that is some good water. Guys, I have like a quadruple hydration filtered system. Just kidding. I made it myself. I have a filter on my sink, and then I have this like glass filter that I got off of Amazon, and it like you basically put a bag of rocks in it, and the rocks ionize your water. So it's like the most delicious water ever. Lost all iPad privileges. What up, Tom? Good to see you. It's okay to be a nerd. Yes, it is. I am indeed a nerd, my friend. Dante, swole shaming is real. Yeah, it is, dude. It is. It's a struggle you deal with every day. I'm glad, Dante. I'm glad I'm glad you can relate. All right. So let me tell you the story, guys, about how can I navigate the story while being politically correct. All right. So back when I was in college, guys, we can say this is the story of Kit Kat. We'll say Kit Kat. This is the Kit Kat story. All right. Now pay attention, you fuckers. Oops, I cursed. Oh, well. This is the story of Kit Kat. All right. Now, Kit Kat, when I was in college, when I was a wee lad in college, my friends, I was in computer science. I was in the computer science school at the
School of Engineering and Computer Science.
Nothing strange there, right? Except I was kind of strange in that department because I was kind of like the odd man out. This was like back in like 2011, 2012, 13, 14, whatever, the beginning end of the 2000s. And back then, still, I would say probably like 80% of the people that at least survived the freshman year of computer science school, because it's brutal. And the worst part about, this is a tangent, but the worst part about the brutality of like computer science school is like, you don't really learn anything that's like going to really prepare you for the real world, but you get tested on things that are quite hard and like theoretical computer science. And it's not, none of it's really applicable to what you're doing or what you're most likely going to be doing in the field. 99.99% of people aren't actually going to be doing like machine code or machine language or stuff like that. But anyway, so I was kind of the odd man out. And you guys know, like, if you were like some kind of like, let's just say it was the inverse. Let's say that you were a nerd and you were like kind of like socially awkward. Maybe you never had a girlfriend or something like that. I mean, not to put anyone down if you never had a girlfriend, that's totally cool. But let's just say that you're that kind of person, or maybe you consider yourself to be a nerdy fellow, and you were in a college campus and you had a class, like a business class or whatever. Most people in there are going to be like normal people, and you would be the odd man out, right? Now, I'd never really fit in with nerdy people. I'd never really fit in with like the cool people either. I've kind of just been like on my own, and different story for a different day. But let's say that wasn't the case. And let's say you were me and you weren't like this. You had a normal social circle, one could say. And you did what normal college little boys do, which is what, my friends, you guys tell me, what do normal little college boys do? Wade Emery with the Southern Dandy suit dates. Hell yeah. Wait, just send me a picture. I'm going to see the suit, dude. Tom says, I don't want to hear any story past 2000 called back in the old days. Yeah, Tom, no need to, don't mean to offend you on the elder times. Just write a compiler, bro. MLD is teaching you how to get a girlfriend. Good, dude. Good. Nerds. Shout out to us, quote, middle of the road guy, LOL. Yeah, indeed, my friend. It's a conundrum, isn't it? Because you don't really know, right? You don't really know like what and maybe the thing is, maybe Mr. Russell, you are in a league of your own. It's not such a bad thing, right? All right, what do little college boys do? Play video games? Yeah. Sam says college was drinking, partying, girls. Shh, that's bad speak. No, not me, sir. When I was in college, I indeed did not partake in any of those activities because that would have been illegal, especially if I was under the age of 21, right? And everyone knows I'm just a good old boy. Never mean and no harm, right? Ratio of women to men in North Georgia was like 5-1. The college ratio is getting worse, guys. Less and less people are going to a school, period, let alone like men versus women. Like now, and if you guys, by the way, sign up to the mail list for Developer Direction. But if you have been signed up and you got one of the emails I sent like maybe 5 or 6 weeks back, it was about college enrollment and the stats behind it. Dude, it's scary, number one, because first of all, there's just like there is a huge gap in college enrollment from 2020 onward. The 2020, we all I'm gonna say it, guys. We all know what happened in 2020, right? 2020 was the year number one of our Lord, Dr. FAUC CCCCCCI, the year of our Lord. And we're now, guys, we're now in the year 3 of our Lord, Thine Branch Covidian. But the most important part about that is like basically everyone that's going to school now, the majority is like women, which who knows what they're going to study. I hope they're not like taking out 6 figures worth of loans to study underwater basket weaving, because that would suck for them, at least, not me. Well, actually, it's going to suck for all of us when we have to pay it back with our tax dollars. Sport activities, frat parties, and homework, parties Friday, Saturday. Yeah. Your campus was dry. What school did you go to, man? 60-40 women and men. Yeah, it's about normal. It's probably like, yeah, it's probably close to what your comment down here is now. 70-30 by year 4. It's probably year 1. It's like that now. Daniel says, that's true. When I was in school, I was 4 girls, every one guy. Yeah, no surprise, guys. No surprise. We were like a reverse of Georgia Tech at the time. So, back to the story of Kit Kat, my friends. So I was kind of like I guess it was because and I wasn't like massively jacked in college, but I was pretty big, and maybe I looked like intimidating. I don't know. I'm not tall. You guys know I'm like 5'8" and 1/5 of a quarter of an inch. So like it wasn't like I was this large lurch lurking around the campus. Like, but the people that were there, they were kind of nerdy, right? And I think that they kind of smelled that I wasn't like I wasn't a cave dwelling neckbeard like them, and so I never really got like help from anybody at that school per se, right? And I would watch other students who were just like I guess we could say, well, we're going to keep using the term. Sorry, guys. Sorry this offends you. That were just exceptionally nerdy, right? And they excelled because it was like they had nothing else to do. They weren't working any kind of jobs. Like they lived and breathed like just being a nerd and the whole computer science deal, right? Now, I live and breathe computer science today because it is my business. My multiple businesses are all involve literal computer science, and it has become a hobby of mine. But am I like, would you guys say that I'm the archetypal nerd? I wouldn't say so. If you do, that's okay. Point being is when I was with a sea full of nerds, I felt like I was not good enough to do programming. And the reason why that is because, like, you know, if you're in a group of people and you think that you're getting lost on stuff, and the truth is, guys, the reason why I was lost in school some of the times was because, quite frankly, the way that colleges, like I tell all my clients, the way that schools teach people and prepare people for the real world for programming or software engineering, it's not. Let's just say it's not optimal for what you're actually going to do. Okay. I didn't really care too much about getting in the nitty gritty of like doing all this theoretical stuff. One of the classes that I actually really enjoyed was my first like web development class. And that was when I actually got to do some real code on my own, not doing some like BS projects. But aside from that, guys, I mean, when we were doing like algorithms class and like traversing binary trees, all this like weird stuff that you don't really ever use in the real world. And if you did just use it in the real world, you would just, I don't know, call another function to do it for you. But anyway, I rest my case. We had a course, and it was either my second to last or my last semester of my senior year. And the course was called, it was like CSCI 400. I really don't know. I don't think it was algorithms, but it was like, I don't remember the name. Okay. But the point is here, the whole purpose of the course was to simulate like a team development environment. In fact, it had a lot to do with agile and agile methodology for you people who are familiar with agile methodology. And what you had to do from the first day of class was you had to pick a team of people, and you guys basically all had to build this project together, people working on different things, different items like you would for agile. And by the end of the semester, you present it. We had a couple presentations for the stuff that we were working on in between, but for the most part, we didn't even go to the class, right? All we had to do was like send updates. So everyone picked groups, and I had a decent group of people, And there was this one person who didn't get into the group. All right. And we're going to call this person Kit Kat. All right. Now, Kit Kat was not your regular nerd. Kit Kat was a hyper pan quasi alphabet letter rainbow nerd. And Kit Kat, we'll just say that so in order for us to stay politically correct within the bounds of YouTube, we'll say Kit Kat didn't really know whether or not Kit Kat was a sir or a zer. We'll just put it to you guys. Just read in between the lines. Okay, guys, read in between the lines. Kit Kat did not know whether or not Kit Kat was a sir or a zer. And so, thus, Kit Kat didn't really fit in either, right? Kit Kat probably fit in more than me, but Kit Kat didn't really fit in either. But Kit Kat was very smart and very talented. In fact, Kit Kat, on the first check-in, this was probably like a week or two after we just started the class and we all got our groups. The project, you guys, so that you guys know, was to basically build a Bitcoin exchange, a mock Bitcoin exchange in Java. I actually have some of you guys, if you're in DD and you've had that project before, now you guys know where it came from. But that was what we were supposed to do, right? And Kit Kat came to like the first presentation, and not only did Kit Kat, we'll just say they, not only did they do it, like long before the due date, which the due date was at the end of the semester, right? So we basically had like, for all intents and purposes, like 4.5 months, right? Not only did they do it, they did it like exceptionally well, and they added all these bells and whistles. And when they were up there presenting that stuff, I was thinking to myself, Jesus, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I am not nerdy enough to do this. This person, they are going to go and get a like amazing job after school is over, and I'm probably not. I'm probably never going to ever do that because it's just, I don't know. Maybe I need to be nerdier. At least that's what I was thinking, right? You went to a Baptist school? Tom's going back to college? Do it, Tom. Frank Castle, not going to lie, though. College campuses are great for day game. Josh is underplaying it. He's a solid 6'5" in person. For sure, bro. For sure. All you had to do is play Dungeons & Dragons with them. I don't think they even did. Actually, they probably did. Probably did. That doesn't work. Kit Kat was a rainbow person. Yes. Yes, Kit Kat was a rainbow person. You didn't have any of those in college? Good. Is Kit Kat Josh's furry alter ego? Yeah, Kit Kat would probably literally be my furry alter ego. That's how you could describe him, if we're being honest. Except they were... Pablo, if you're listening to the stream, Pablo, because I know you are because I saw you type this. Pablo, you know the final boss, and Sam too. Sam, you know the final boss from the Whole Foods down the street? Kit Kat looked literally like the final boss from the Whole Foods. You guys don't know. If you guys don't know who the final boss is, ask in the ELP chat for a picture of the final boss, and we'll send you guys a picture of the final boss. But okay, back to the story. So that's how I felt about it, right, guys? I was like, damn, this person, like, what I'm not cut out for this. I'm like, I have to be a supreme nerd in order to do this, right? And that's what I was thinking. Lo and behold, though, what actually ended up happening was we finished our project. Okay. I graduated, right? And for a while, I was looking for a job. It was about 1 to 2 to maybe 3 months. I actually had originally gotten a job, but it was a very bad job. And this is a whole different story, guys, but I actually moved to Washington, D.C. temporarily to go and work at this job for 1 week. And then I quit and drove all the way back home. My dad was like, what the fuck, dude? And I was like, Dad, you got to trust me. This place was not good. But anyway, so I was sitting there. And at this point, it was probably like, we graduated in May, and it was probably like end of like July, right? And I remember thinking to myself, like, I need to find a job because I'm all on my own now and I have to pay bills. And I was thinking to myself, like, well, I'm not like Kit Kat. So therefore, if I'm not like Kit Kat and I wasn't nerdy enough, I wasn't going to be able to get that job. I had some self-doubt, right? I had some of that imposter syndrome going on, even though I knew like the basics of programming, the like basic fundamentals, right? I knew enough I had the tools, my friends. I had the tools. However, I did have a sense of this imposter syndrome just because in my mind, I was like, I wasn't as good as Kit Kat. It just wasn't. So what happened? Well, I was in a coffee shop one day, and a guy who was like, he was probably also a recent college grad. He was probably maybe like 4 or 5 years older than me. And he was like a cool guy. He was like a cool, talkable guy. Like, he came and sat down next to me. He was drinking coffee, and he's like, "Hey man, what's your name? Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm from here." He's like, you look like a college student. Are you about to graduate?" I was like, "I actually just did." He was like, "Huh, what did you study?" And I was like, "Computer science." And he was like, "Are you working here right now?" I was like, "No, I'm actually looking for a job." He's like, "Dude, take down my number. Let's come meet again here at whatever date that it was." It was like 1 or 2 days later. He's like, "Come back and meet me here." And he's like, "I'm going to get you a job." And I was just like, look at this dude like he was crazy. And I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" But I went there and we talked about it. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "You went to Ole Miss." And he was a headhunter, by the way, guys. He was a headhunter. He's like, "You went to Ole Miss. I have a client who only hires Ole Miss graduates, and they desperately need a new developer, and they need a junior developer. So they need someone fresh." And he's like, and they're very particular about who they want on their team. They don't want people who are very, how he described strange, or what you would consider to be your average nerd, because I had to be dealing with clients who were in the company, because it was a telecom company, and our clients, we were the automation department of a telecom company, and we automated software for the telecom company. So I had to speak to actual people who didn't know anything about code and who were like just normal people. So the fact that it required me to have human interaction, they wanted someone who wasn't a fucking nerd, to put it to you guys simply. So to make the longer story short, needless to say, I ended up getting that job, and I worked there for about 2 years. And that wasn't the best paying job ever, because it was a junior job in the middle of Jackson, Mississippi. But it was very fucking good experience, because this company, guys, I'm not going to poop on them, but they're kind of a little wagey. At least they were like 10 years ago. But they were like,
"We're the Google of Mississippi."
if you guys want to just search Google of Mississippi, you probably know which company I'm talking about. And it was a good job. All right. And I was ecstatic. But the whole point was, I got that job because I wasn't a nerd. All right. Now, just wait, guys. The Kit Kat story, fuck. I may or may not have accidentally doxed somebody. The Kit Kat story, it doesn't end right there. Okay. So everybody knows your first job as a developer, as an engineer, like, that's probably going to be your least paying job. But once you get that like 1 to 2 years of experience, people start coming out the woodwork, because they know that you're trained, and they know that you're available to do good stuff, right? And they know that you're underpaid, so they're going to come and try to take you guys away. By the way, for anyone in here in DD, we're going to be a little late on the webinar, because I know it's 8:30 right now. So let me finish the story, guys, and then we can get to the webinar. So I got acquisitioned for another job out of the blue, and they were like, "Hey, dude, you graduated from Ole Miss. We're a job in the same city as Ole Miss. We said you've been working for 2 years now, and would you like to come over here and make an extra $25,000 a year?" And me, being a 23-year-old at the time, I was like, "Yeah, I will." So I took that job offer, and I packed up my stuff, and I moved back to good old Oxford, Mississippi, the city where I went to college in. And I started work at the new job with a big, fancy salary upgrade. And while I was moving into town, I remember, guys, I had just finished moving all my crap in the new house that I was in. And I was like, man, I'm hungry. I need to go get me a Jimmy John's sandwich, because they didn't have a Jimmy John's in Jackson for whatever reason. And I was craving myself a good old Jimmy John's sandwich. So I went to Jimmy John's. And by the way, guys, while I was in school, Kit Kat happened to work part-time as a delivery driver for Jimmy John's. Now, if you guys remember what I was saying about Kit Kat, when I saw their skills and ability, I was like, damn, this person's way too good. I am fucking terrible compared to this person. And they're like, even though they're a supreme nerd, they're going to be way more successful than me at this field. I'll probably never get a job. They're going to get a job like that. Here I was on my second job, moving up in the world, right? Went to Jimmy John's, and lo and behold, not sorry, Kit Kat, if you're watching, I know you're probably not. Kit Kat was still there working as a Jimmy John's delivery driver. So the moral of the story, my friends, is not being a nerd is actually what got me ahead in this field. Okay. And I would say that maybe if you are a nerd and you are going to choose this field, not like you're going to do terribly, but your ability and mobility to move up in the ranks is going to be suppressed. Because if you can only deal with machines and you can't deal with the people that are using the machines, you're going to be handicapped. Nice beard. Thank you. You want to see the final boss? Gotta ask in the chat, in the DD chat, bro. You don't know the real final until you've against the Canadian NPC. I don't know, dude. We got some NPCs here too. They needed people skills. Yep, they did. They did. Good consistency with the streams. Thank you, my friend. No rush. Yeah, guys. I'm coming, guys. I'm coming. Don't worry. Harry McGuire Jr., what is the lowest salary you would accept if you were an entry-level dev today? Okay, today, and this is going to depend on like city, state, location. So if let's do two. Let's do three. We have to give three. Actually, we're gonna have to give four. Okay. Sorry. I have to give four different answers to this. Okay. Answer number one. If you're remote and you live in your living situation, you're not in a high-paying, like expensive city like Miami. If you're remote, and let's just say you're average city, then the lowest I would take for my first job would be $68,500. I know it's a particular number, but in all honesty, because of inflation, probably $70,000 now, $70,000 a year, right? The best part about it is, though, once you get that first year down, dude, you're cush. You can write your ticket. Literally, you can literally write your ticket. And so you're getting in $70,000 to some people is a lot of money, dude. I know it was for me when I was 23 years old. That was a lot of money for me when I was 23. So it's not that big of a deal just to most, right? But let's just say you're older and it is a big a deal. You're going to get paid more in the back end. What you're actually getting paid is more than just that $70,000 in that first 6 months to a year, let's say. You're getting paid with experience, which is resume clout and a check mark and a bullet point on your resume. And that is the most expensive thing that you can get. And that's the hardest thing to get. Once you get that, you're good. So that's if I'm remote. Now, if I'm living in a cheap city, if I'm living in a city where it's very cheap and the cost of living is very, very cheap, and most people in that actually say the state make no money, I would say probably like $60,000 to $62,000 a year. If I'm living in California, I'm not going to accept a job that's less than $100,000 a year as a junior developer. In fact, you're probably going to get 100 to 115 as a junior developer from a California company anyway. That's the third one. And then well, I think that we did high, low, and the middle remote. I would say you could probably if you do have to commute and you weren't remote and you're in that middle range for a junior dev, like your cost of living is in the middle range. I would say like 75. Just add another 5,000 to it. Hope that helped, man. Oh shoot, you giving the Kit Kat story. Remember that story, bro? You remember that story? How do I get the girls? Network is your net worth. Yes, it is. What up, dude? Red Sings Blues in the house, dude. I gotta get you to come on the stream soon. It's been a year, bro? That would be a lot for you right now. Yeah, dude. Then there's nothing to be ashamed with 75 grand being a lot of money. That is a lot of money to a lot of people. For real. And you're gonna turn 23? Much difference in pay between CS degree and learning with a non-CS degree? Nope. The pay, you're going to get paid your mobility and your increase in your salary. They're going to pay you based off of your experience. All right. And what skill, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do the work? Maybe the first, maybe in some instances, the first job will be like that. But we've had a couple of guys in DD get without a CS degree, get both slightly under six figures and or slightly over six figures without a CS degree in their first job. So I know people who are about the same range who do have a CS degree. What about New York City? Are you living and do you have to commute in the city? If so, probably about the same price as California, $100 to $110,000, maybe $115. In all honesty, my friends. Another thing too, guys, is I personally think that the traditional route is not the best way to go if you're young and you have the time and you have the runway to start your own business or to do freelance work. That's the better way to go. But, and I'll caveat this, but I always tell people that I recommend spending like 1 or 2 years with boots on the ground in a traditional wage W2 working as a software engineer, because you're going to learn a whole lot. You're going to learn just a lot of random stuff. I mean, you're going to have a lot of bullshit to deal with and you're going to get paid less, but you're going to learn a lot by having to deal with people who are, quite frankly, retarded. And that's actually pretty good currency, if I'm being honest with you. So I'm 6 minutes late to our webinar. Speaking of, if you guys are interested in learning how to code, developerdirection.com, sign up on the mailing list. And then also, my friends, please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, guys, learn to code. Learn to change your own tire. Self-custody, you doggone crypto. Link in the description box below for a Trezor. Get $25 of free Bitcoin if you indeed purchase it. And a couple of sats go to the channel to help us out. That is it, my friends. I'm out. I'll see you later.